Hi, my name is Michael Maloney. This is my grandpa Charles Maloney, and he is 86 years old. He was in the United States Marine Corps and he served during the Korean War. I'm going to ask a series of questions about his childhood, involvement in the Army, and his life after his service. So I'm going to start off talking about your childhood. What were some of your strongest memories of your parents, and what did they do?
My parents, we lived in a small town, St. Mary's, Missouri. I was one of 12 children. My mother was a part-time school teacher and a home nurse, and my dad worked at the local hardware store. It was owned by my grandfather, and he also worked at what they had back then was a feed mill. At times he'd work there. Went to high school in St. Mary's, Missouri. After high school, enlisted in the Marine Corps after a few years.
Were
Wasn't
you
much going on in the little town of St. Mary's, so most of the people, after they got out of high school, left and went to other communities, tried to find work. We were sort of a farm community, had a lot of farm work. That my land that my grandfather owned, we worked on the farm off and on.
so you enlisted, you were
I
not
enlisted
drafted.
in the Marine Corps
Do,
in 1951. I was 21 years old.
do you recall your first days in service?
My first day in service, yes, I was a young kid from the hills of country, didn't know nothing, scared to death, didn't know what to do. First time I'd been away from home, and I did a lot of listening, I listened a lot.
Tell me about your boot camp and training experiences.
My boot camp was back in those days. They enlisted, and we had the drilling sergeants on the boot camp. They were pretty tough, but all you had to do after pay attention is listen, pay attention to what they said. They were trying to shape you, young men, into young boys into being men, trying to shape you up in case you got into combat. In case you got into combat, you'd know what to do and whatnot.
So you served during the Korean War.
I served during the Korean War.
What was your
I was in the States. I was in San Diego, California, all the 3 years. I did not leave the state. Went up the road 4 or 5 miles up to a place called with the rifle range. And the rifle range is where they taught how to shoot the rifles. It's a big complex, and that's where I was stationed. Spent 2 years there at the rifle range in the administrative office, in charge of the personnel record books of each soldier.
Tell me about a couple of your most experience or memorable experiences.
I had no too much experience. I didn't have anything memorable experience. Nothing exciting.
Were you awarded any medals or citations?
No, had no medals. No, didn't do anything to get any medals or citations.
So no small medals or anything?
While I was at the rifle range, I learned. I was able to practice on the rifle range with their guns, and I became a marksman. Ended up shooting the rifle. I got a little medal for that. That's about the whole thing. You know.
So when you were in San Diego, how did you stay in touch with your family?
Stayed in touch with my family by writing a letter every once in a while. That was about it, back and forth. A couple times I may have called on telephone. Didn't have no cell phone back those days. And and just check in.
Where did you? So you said you didn't travel anywhere. You just basically stayed in San Diego.
Right. Stayed in the area there. The only thing I went up to Camp Matthews, 20, 30 miles up the road at the rifle range camp.
Do you recall any particularly humorous or unusual event?
Let's see. No events as far as the military is concerned. There were some outside events, but they don't pertain to the military. No, I just it was kind of a quiet. Just listened a lot and did my job.
Do you recall the day your service ended?
The day my service ended, no, none other than just, this is the last day. Take your pencil and go home, or pack up and go. Now, we didn't get into the rank deal, did we?
Not yet. We'll
Okay. I think that all makes a big difference. All right.
What was your homecoming like?
My homecoming? Oh, it was nice. Glad to see everybody. Glad I was still walking and healthy and wise. I guess I was wiser. Wasn't very wealthy, of course, but was wise, healthy, and wise.
Did you work or go back to school?
I worked. I did not go back to school. I was out of high school. I graduated already. And I did not go back to school. I worked there in town. Helped my grandfather, do the farm work, bale hay, corn. Did some plumbing work there in the town. Did some electrical work there in town.
Did you make any close friendships while you were in the service?
No, not. I was, while we were there, I've been with a couple of guys while we were there for 2-3 years, but after that, I didn't keep in touch because they were all scattered all over the country. But there was nobody really close.
Did your military experience influence your thinking about the military in general?
No, not too much. Didn't bother too much about it. My military wasn't all that exciting.
Do you attend reunions?
No reunions, no get-togethers, no organizations.
How did your service and experiences affect your life?
It did not affect my life. I just was kept the same thoughts, being truthful, honest, and to continue on, regardless of what you were doing.
As a veteran, how would you like to see your service honored? Is it done enough?
Yeah, that's not enough. I've been not being in the war. I couldn't say much. I was in service, but I was not in the war. I applied to different things.
So, is there anything that you would like to add that we have not covered in this interview?
Well, right now, I guess we did not cover my rank, did we?
No.
All right. Well, you go by rank when you go into your private and your PVC and then your corporal and your sergeant. It takes years sometimes. And each level of grade, you're assigned different things, and there's certain things you can do and some you can't. Well, I made the rank of sergeant in 11 months' time. That's quite unique. Sometimes it takes guys 3 or 4 years to get that rank. So after the first year, I was a rank as sergeant. So I spent my next 2 years with the rank of sergeant, which is one of the higher ranks than anybody else, as far as non-commissioned officer, which made me a different. I was always into higher things, or I was always in charge of something or whatnot. So it made a difference. It kept me from going overseas, because they did not draft sergeants right away for overseas when I was in. So that's one reason I did not go overseas, because of my rank, which I had acquired early.
What did you go on to do as a career after the war?
After the war, I came home and stayed in St. Mary's for a couple of years or so, working.
For
And
what? What did you work for?
I worked with my grandfather there at the hardware store, on the farm. Did some plumbing work in the different houses in town, did some electrical work. And then I decided to come to St. Louis. I came to St. Louis and joined a plumbing company and got into the plumbing business of wholesale retail. I was not a plumber, but I was in the business of selling and plumbing supplies as a company, plumbing company. I was always inside on the city desk. People calling in, they want this, they want that. I did that until I did that for several different places until I retired.
So you didn't.
Yes, I retired in 1998. Probably went 40 years, I guess.
Okay, thank you for sharing your recollections.
All right. Now they're kind of hard to remember. A long ways ago, a long time ago.